What's up, everybody? This is Brian from Heavy Drop Training. So today we're going to talk about our heavy drop training program. Our program is 6 weeks long. We run 2 weeks off, 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 6 weeks on throughout the whole year. Our program gets a rep for being pretty intense. It's not to say that it isn't, but we do have a different level for each person. The program is designed in a way that you can literally scale everything based on your ability. If doing something as far as only body weight workouts is something that you're interested in, or it feels like that's a level that you would want to get into, we have a program that does strictly just body weight workouts. If you're looking at something that you want a little more cardio, muscle stamina, we have our ruck and body weight version. So you'll utilize a ruck. Your ruck can be anywhere from 10 pounds if you want it, even less than that. If you want to do 5 pounds, that's fine too. From anywhere from, we'll say, 1 pound all the way up to whatever you want to use. We typically don't recommend going over 40 or so pounds for a ruck. Doesn't mean you can't, but always work up to weights. You never want to just throw in an extra 20 pounds that you haven't worked up to and put yourself in a position where injury is a possibility. Then our other program we have is the sandbag and ruck version. Sandbag and ruck version is more strength-based training. You're going to still get a cardio stamina aspect and muscle endurance aspect to it. And we'll talk about that a little bit, how the program actually breaks down each workout for each week. But it's going to be primarily focused on strength. So you're going to be using anywhere from 20-pound sandbag is probably the lowest, all the way up to 80 is what we recommend. Again, we have people that will use 120-pound sandbag, 150-pound sandbags for some stuff too. All workouts can be adjusted. So if you're using an 80-pound sandbag for overhead presses and the next exercise comes up and it's sandbag curls, you don't have to use an 80-pound sandbag for the sandbag curls. You can drop down to a 60 or a 40-pound sandbag, and vice versa. You can go up higher for some exercises, you can go lower for other exercises. So there's always the ability to adjust weights throughout the whole entire workout. If you're doing our sandbag and ruck plus version, which is directed towards people who are training for those tier 1 type events, you're going to be using 25-foot rope, where you're going to use sandbag drags for that. You're going to be using 5-gallon buckets, where you're going to be holding those and carrying those for a mile or so. There's going to be a 4x4 that you're going to have as a yoke, carrying 2 5-gallon buckets on it that are half full for a mile or so. We'll do landmine presses with that 4x4 as well, with sandbags attached to it. We'll do a couple different things to increase the anxiety levels, also to decrease dexterity in your hands. We'll use some techniques that will make it more difficult for you to use your hands and stuff, but at the same time, it's going to test your ability to work through that issue. So there's a lot of different stuff we throw at you with that plus version. There's no extra cost or anything. No matter what version you choose, it's always the same price. The way we do our workouts is we have a upper body, lower body, and core workout. All right, so each week you're going to have one of those specific sections throughout the week. So the way I have it set up is, for those exercises, the upper body workout, for instance, if it's the first workout of the week, it's going to be a pretty solid exercise set. It's going to leave you sore. You're not going to be dragging yourself off the floor per se, but you're going to be feeling it. It's going to be a mix of both stamina type exercises, utilizing ruck, and sandbag exercises that are more strength based. The second workout that week would be a more stamina based workout. So that would be, let's just say, core for this instance. That core exercise set is going to be pretty much all ruck based. It may have some body weight in there also, and it's going to be higher rep counts in those sets. So you're going to be knocking out 25, 30 reps per set, really pushing the stamina of those muscles, and not so much the strength aspect. So you're not supposed to be like, oh, well, cool, I'm going to go with a 60-pound ruck. The concept is you want to go with a lighter ruck, but you're going to try to go the full 30, 40, sometimes 50 reps continuously through with that weight. And then the last set of exercises in this case would be lower body. So lower body, third workout of the week, would be a what we call soul crusher. So this is going to be lower reps in higher number of sets. So you're going to be doing maybe only 4 or 5 reps, but you'll do 5 sets of that. There's going to be a little more rest time designated for it. And the concept there is to go a little bit heavier. That doesn't mean you make a huge jump, right? If you do 80-pound sandbag for lunges, for instance, sandbag lunges, that doesn't mean, oh, it's on the soul crusher week, so I'm going to bump it up to 120-pound sandbag for that. Go up to 100, go up to 90 first, work your way up to it first. All right, we have a lot of people who have done 10, 20 rounds with us, and they've all started at the lower end of the sandbags, and they've worked their way up. One of the things we always tell people in our program, especially those that are new to it, don't judge your beginning to somebody else's middle. All right, the people that have been here for a while, they've worked up to that weight. So don't feel like you're not doing enough work if you're in this round and all of a sudden you see somebody throwing a 125-pound sandbag around, 150-pound sandbag, so on and so forth. They worked up to it. You're where you're at, they're where they're at. You'll work up to that same weight over time. So that's the soul crusher. So what we do then is each week we play musical chairs with those regions. So if workout number 1 was upper body in week 1, we'll then shift that to the soul crusher, workout number 3 for week 2. We'll then move the soul crusher from week 1, we'll move that to the more stamina-based exercise for workout number 2, because it's going to give you a little more length of time for recovery. And then we'll move the stamina-based exercise to workout number 1. And we play that musical chairs all 6 weeks, moving them around. All right, so while doing this, we're basically trying to set you up for the best type of recovery while also giving you the best kind of workout that we can give you as well. All right, and at the same time, we're mixing in both strength and stamina aspects of exercises. So you're not going to be just throwing 150-pound sandbags all 3 workouts for a whole entire week straight. It's going to be a nice mix between each of those. And then ultimately, we also have what we call a CARE package. So the CARE package, for that, it's basically an AMRAP, so as many reps as possible in a set amount of time. So for those, they're anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes long, and usually it depends on what soul crusher we have that week, what type of AMRAP I program. We typically use the AMRAPs. We got about 45 AMRAPs now programmed. We typically use the AMRAPs over again so that you can gauge where you were from the first time you did it to the current time that you've done that AMRAP. So it's nice to see the progress between the attempts that you've had on that AMRAP. With the AMRAPs, typically it can be a body weight only type AMRAP. If it's a heavy week, for instance, week 5 is always heavy week for us. So a body weight AMRAP would happen during week 5. Week 4 is burpee week, and it's sort of a all body weight more or less type of week where we mix in some ruck stuff and a little bit of sandbag stuff. So in that week, you may see that we have a heavier care package in that case, maybe 30 minutes long, and it's all sandbag related. For those doing sandbag, it's all ruck related for those doing the ruck and body weight. And then the body weight version, there's nothing we can really do about it, but you'll knock it out as a body weight version. So that's the 3 workouts. We have the AMRAP. We have a strict ruck or a slick run each week. So they interchange. Odd weeks are going to be in the runs, and then even weeks are going to be strict rucks. So what we'll end up doing is for the slick runs, it's just a straight up run. There's no magic to it. You just go out and you do your best for whatever distance you choose. So you get to choose the distance you want to run for that. Most people do 1 mile, 2 miles for their runs. As far as the strict rucks, which is basically a ruck without any jogging, no running, basically 1 foot on the ground at all times while you're doing your movement. We'll see anywhere from 1 mile to 2, 3. Sometimes people will do even a 12-miler every other week. What you'll do with that is basically, and it doesn't matter what distance you pick. Ultimately, whatever distance you go with, you're going to have a goal that's going to be good enough that you're going to have to push to get it. All right, so each week you'll have a goal. It's going to be based off your pre-training. So with the pre-training, we do 2-minute push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, 5 minutes of burpees, and then we do a strict ruck and slick run. So all of that stuff is utilized to gauge your progress over the whole entire 6 weeks. We'll redo those numbers come week 6. All right. So whatever you do in pre-training, distance-wise, and however your time ends up for that is going to gauge or ultimately give you a goal for week 1, for instance, for the run. Or week 2, you'll get a strict ruck goal. So that goal is going to be a certain algorithm I put together, and it'll give you a goal that's attainable. It's going to be tough. You'll have to push for it, but you can potentially get it. We'll have people who will hit their goals over the 6 weeks. They'll hit every single one. We also get people who they don't hit the goal the first time or the second time, but they get it in the last week or last week or two, depending on if it's a strict ruck or slick run. All right, so it's an attainable goal. It's something you can get. You just got to push for it. If you beat it, the next time that we have a slick run or a strict ruck, you'll have a new goal. All right, it's going to be a little bit quicker than that. So everybody's always excited. Hey, sweet, I broke my goal, I got it. And then they realize, oh man, I broke it. That means the next one's going to be even lower. So, but again, it's attainable still. So strict rucks, again, all it is basically it's a ruck. You pick the weight, you pick the distance, and then you go as fast as you can with keeping at least 1 foot on the ground at all times. So you're not running or jogging. If you look up speed walking, that's pretty much the best way to do it. Drop the hips down, really swing the arms out to the sides, and shorter steps really quickly. And you'll really feel it in your tibialis anterior muscle. All right, so if you find that you're getting some shin splints and stuff, then back off a little bit. Because that is something you can get from doing a strict ruck where you're trying to go for a speed walk type style movement. All right, so each week you have a upper, lower, core workout. Those are primary workouts. Those are, when we do the point system, it's 3 points each for those. You have a care package, which is an AMRAP. They're nice because you can sort of fit it in wherever you want. It's going to be 15 minutes long. It's going to be 20 minutes long. You can squeeze it in between stuff. Those are each going to be between 1 and 2 points. If it's 15 minutes or more, 15 minutes or less, it's going to be a single point. If it's more than 15 minutes, then it's going to be 2 points. Our strict ruck and our slick runs every other week, those are going to be a single point each. And then ultimately we have the quarter miles of death, which we don't have those set up as points, but you can attain a patch. It's our $500 patch on our site, but you get a discount of $485 if you end up finishing all 6 of them with a 90% completion of the program. Quarter miles of death all depends on what's going on during that time. Right now we have the 9/11 events coming up, so we're going to be doing a lot of stairs. So there's going to be a couple quarter miles involved for next round that are going to be stairs going up them. Ultimately, the goal for the quarter miles this round, we're going to hit all the same amount of steps that the trade centers had. So it's going to be broken down in quarter miles over that 6 weeks. And then running up to 9/11 style events, we'll back off on that quarter mile a little bit. There won't be the step aspect, but we'll go some body weight movements that'll be quarter miles. Either way, a quarter mile is a long time to be doing whatever it is that's assigned. So that's the breakdown of everything that you'd have in 1 week. It sounds like a lot. If you're doing other programs, it can be intimidating with the amount of volume. But as long as you stick to a schedule, it's totally attainable. We have tons of people that have done multiple types of programs with our program. Pathfinder is another one we do a lot of work with as far as having a combo package together with our heavy drop program and Pathfinder together. But again, everything is attainable in that week if you schedule it correctly. Last thing you want to do is throw everything to the end of the week and end up having to cram it in. Not recommended. Most people that do it say they'll never do that again. But technically, as long as you got it done by the end of the week, you can get points for that workout. So I've been talking about points. So as far as points go, each workout has a certain value to it, other than the quarter miles of depth. Those are there for you to choose if you want to do them or not. And if you do all 6, you can get the discount code for the patch, along with 90% completion though. So the workouts each have their own point value. All the primary workouts, upper, lower, core, all those have a value of 3 points. Care packages, anywhere from 1 to 2 points, and then a strict ruck or a slick run is a single point. So if you choose the accountability aspect that we have with our program, having a battle buddy, and your battle buddy doesn't have to be anyone you know, shouldn't be anybody you know to be honest, doesn't have to live near you, can live in another country. We have people in Japan, China, all over the place. All they're doing is basically checking in. So you're messaging, hey, did you get your workout in today? I just finished this one. Can you check it off in my log and make sure we get our points for it? So every workout you finish, you check off that's completed. Your battle buddy goes in and verifies it, and then you guys get points on your team. All right, and vice versa. You do the same for them. It's one of those things where if you know the person, you have a little bit more of a, it's not a big deal if I don't finish it. If you don't know the person, this is the only way they know you. And if you drop the ball on them, they're going to be like, man, this person's sort of, slacking off a little bit. That's their only way they know you, right? So you have a little more drive to finish the workouts and to get stuff done, knowing that it's that person relying on you to, keep your team going, and vice versa, right? They're expecting you to get the work done. Same thing on the other side, right? And if you can't get the work done and you know that you're not going to be able to and you want to have a battle buddy still, you can let me know, and I will pair people up who know they can't get all the work in together, so you still can push each other, but with the expectation that you're probably not going to get all the work done. If you get all the work done, we have a top 3 system. If you end up in the top 3, you'll get discounts for the coming rounds, or coming round, I should say. It doesn't expire, so you can choose whichever round you want to use it on. But first place gets 75% off, and that applies to, you can either choose all of our programs or just one of our programs, but you can actually get 75% off heavy drop training, yoga, and inner round programming, which is the proprioceptive training. All 75% off for one-time use. Or you can just do it for heavy drop if that's it. Or if you want to just do yoga for a round and you want a 25% or 75% off on that, so on and so forth. Second place gets 50% off. Third place gets 25% off. Everybody gets a 20% discount on the whole entire program if you go back-to-back rounds. So we always give everybody for repeat customers, basically. If you come back to us in the next round, you end up getting an extra 20% off our programs. If you do our all-in package, which includes the proprioceptive training, yoga, and heavy drop all together, you get a 25% discount across the board on those, and it's a monthly cost of $69 a month. So you pay $69 a month. It's as long as you do your first 2 payments, basically. After that, if you want to cancel it, you can. We prorate it, so there's no fee or anything like that. We're not trying to shortchange you. So you get the same price, returned back to you for what you paid for, right? So if you signed up for exactly 3 rounds and you did all those things for 3 rounds, then you'll get whatever extra there is that's not towards those 3 rounds. We refund that back to you. So as far as the point system goes, though, you need to finish your exercise or your workouts before the end of the week. So it has to be done before the end of the week. You have until midnight your time zone to do that. And then you can have your battle buddy can verify it later on. It doesn't have to be verified that same week, but it has to be verified by the end of the 6 weeks, basically. If there's a tie, so typically we end up with a tie. I think this last round we had, I think 53 people have 100% completion. As far as battle buddies go, I think we had 9 teams. So 18 of those 53 were teamed up. We had 9 teams that finished in the top tie, basically. And they vied basically for that top 3 doing a tiebreaker AMRAP. So you do the AMRAP, and then if you end up getting the most reps as a team, that puts you in first place, then second, third, so on and so forth. And then that discount code goes out to your team based on your rankings. Another thing we have that I forgot to mention as far as the workouts go, every so we got 6 weeks. The first 3 weeks, you do one, not each week, but just one 6-mile ruck for as fast as possible. And then on the last 3 weeks, you do one 12-mile ruck as fast as possible. The 6-mile ruck is anywhere from 1 to 6 points. The 12-mile ruck is anywhere from 7 to 12 points. And we roll a dice on that. So it's after we finish 3 weeks, we take the dice out and we roll it. Whatever it falls on, that's the amount of points you get for that. So it can make or break your score for a 90% completion. If that 12-miler ends up being like 7 points, then you're like, awesome, I didn't do the 12-miler, but I can still finish with 90%. If it ends up at 12, even like 9 or 8 can sometimes push it. Then you don't get the 90% completion. We use that 90% completion for the Pathfinder program that's tied to us with the combination of those two. So if you do Pathfinder and Heavy Drop and you finish 90% of the programmed workouts with the point system, so your points are 90% of the points you get, and you finish Pathfinder, then you can get the combo patch. So we have a combo patch of Pathfinder and HDT for those that finish both programs within that guideline. The other thing we use the 90% for is we have a finishers group. So the finishers group, if you finish on 90% of a round, you get added to a finisher group. We do beta testing and things like that. We'll utilize that group to get people to try out new programs. We're working on a speed program right now, so that'll probably be out next couple months, and we'll probably use some of the people in there to beta test it. And then if you do 10 rounds with us, well, first off, you do 5 rounds with us, you get a discount code that you can share with anybody. It's 15% off, and you can post it wherever you want, share it with whoever you want. Every time that it gets used 5 times on a HDT round, you get a free round. So for every 5 uses, you get a free round. And then on top of that, if you finish 10 rounds with us, you get coined, and you're one of the few that have done so many rounds with us, and hopefully succeeded in what you were trying to accomplish by our training program, whether that be events or just life itself. So that's a pretty much breakdown of what our program does. Again, we have every single level of fitness can do it. We modify if needed, so if you have injuries or you have nagging injuries that have been around for a while that haven't fixed themselves, we can work around that. So we do make adjustments if needed for that type of stuff. All right. If you have any questions, you can find me on the ClevelandAreaRuckingCrew.com website, or you can send an email to brian@ClevelandAreaRuckingCrew.com. You can find us on our YouTube channel, which this will be posted to, Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff too. So if you have any questions, look us up, shoot me an email, and hopefully we'll figure out the best way to train you for your upcoming events or life itself. All right. Hope everybody has a good afternoon, and we'll see you soon.